the roommate and a new beginning. Sometimes the scariest moments in life are also the most important ones. Standing in front of room 314, I felt exhausted after a long day. But deep inside, I knew something else too. From this moment on, nothing in my life would ever be the same again. Opening the door, I looked at the number one more time. 314. My hand felt slightly cold as I placed the key card against the door lock. A soft green light appeared. Click. The door slowly opened. At first, I only saw part of the room. Warm yellow light. 2 beds. A desk near the window. And then, someone looked up at me. A girl with curly dark hair was sitting on one of the beds with a laptop on her knees. For 1 second, we both just stared at each other awkwardly. Then she smiled. Hi. Her voice sounded friendly and relaxed. I immediately felt a little less nervous. Hi, I answered softly. You must be my new roommate. Meeting my roommate. I slowly walked into the room, pulling my suitcase behind me. The girl stood up and walked toward me. I'm Emma, she said. I'm Sarah. She smiled warmly and pointed toward the empty bed near the window. That one is yours. The room was simple but comfortable. There were 2 beds, 2 desks, a small bookshelf, and a wardrobe near the wall. A soft evening light was coming through the window. Outside, I could see part of the city and a few trees moving gently in the wind. You just arrived today? Emma asked. Yes, I replied. You look tired. I laughed quietly. I am. She laughed too. Don't worry, I looked exactly the same on my first day. Getting to know each other. Emma was also an international student. She was from Germany and had arrived in Italy 2 weeks earlier. She studied architecture. As I unpacked a few things from my suitcase, we kept talking. She told me about the city, the university, and the dormitory rules. People here usually eat dinner pretty late, she explained. And the coffee is amazing. I smiled. I already noticed that. She laughed. You'll probably become addicted to cappuccino very soon. There was something calming about talking to her. Maybe because she understood exactly how I felt. Lost. Excited. Overwhelmed. The first quiet moment. After unpacking a few clothes and organizing my desk, I finally sat down near the window. For the first time all day, everything became quiet. No airport sounds. No train announcements. No crowded stations. Just silence. I looked outside. The sky was slowly becoming darker. Small lights were appearing in apartment windows across the street. Some people were walking outside with shopping bags. Some were sitting in cafes. The city felt peaceful at night. And suddenly, I realized something strange. This place didn't feel completely foreign anymore. Little by little, it was starting to feel real. Calling home. My phone buzzed softly. It was my mother calling. I answered immediately. When I heard her voice, my chest suddenly felt tight. "How was your day?" she asked. I looked around the room before answering. "So much happened today." I told her about the airport, the university registration, the train ride, the dormitory, and my roommate seems really nice, I added. "That's good," my mother said softly. There was a small pause. Then she asked the question I knew was coming. "Are you okay?" I looked out the window again. Honestly, I didn't fully know the answer. I was happy, but also emotional. Excited, but also lonely. "I think so," I finally said quietly. And somehow, that answer felt true. First dinner together. Later that evening, Emma invited me to have dinner with a few other students in the shared kitchen downstairs. At first, I almost said no because I was exhausted. But then I thought, if I stay alone in my room tonight, I'll probably feel even lonelier. So I agreed. The kitchen was full of voices, laughter, and the smell of food. Some students were cooking pasta. Someone was playing music softly from a speaker. I suddenly heard different languages everywhere. English, Italian, Spanish, French. For a moment, I just stood there quietly and watched everything. Then Emma introduced me to everyone. "This is Sarah. She arrived today." People smiled warmly. Someone said, "Welcome to Italy." Another student joked, "You survived the first day. That's the hardest part." Everyone laughed. And honestly, that sentence made me feel better. Feeling less alone. During dinner, I listened more than I spoke. But slowly, I started joining the conversations. We talked about classes, cities, travel, and funny cultural differences. One student complained about Italian bureaucracy. Another talked about getting lost on the bus system. I realized something important. Everyone here had struggled during their first days. Not just me. That thought made me feel lighter. For the first time since arriving, I truly felt connected to the people around me. Back in the room. Later that night, I returned to room 314. I felt physically exhausted, but emotionally calmer. Emma was already reading something on her bed. "Long day?" she asked. "The longest." She smiled knowingly. "You'll remember this day forever." I brushed my teeth, changed into comfortable clothes, and climbed into bed. The room was dark except for the soft light from outside the window. I lay there quietly, staring at the ceiling. My mind replayed everything from the day. The airport, the train, the university, the new people. It all felt unreal. But one thing was becoming clear. I was no longer just visiting Italy. I was beginning a new life here. Just before falling asleep, my phone lit up again. A new email had arrived from the university. Subject: Important notice about your scholarship documents. My heart immediately started beating faster. I opened the email and read the first sentence. And suddenly, all my calm feelings disappeared. Ending of episode 3. To be continued.